they go in the field should be offered to the sun god, because sun planet is the king of all the planets. And in regard to this, the devotee sees that the sun is none other than the eyes of Lord Krishna. In Chakshur is the Savita Sakara Grahanam, Raja Samasta Surabhurti Aseta Teja, Yagyaya Brahmita Samnita Kal Chakro, Govinda Mari Purusham Tamahan Bajami, Lord Brahma. In the chapter 5, text 52 in the Brahma Samhita, have said that the sun is the representation, symbolic representation of his eyes. So in a way, whatever celebration they may be doing in the name of Surya, the sun god, but is also related to Krishna. And in the northern side of India, they are celebrating in the name of Makar Sankranti. There is the traveling of the sun, beginning of the traveling of the sun towards the northern side, entering into the Capricorn zodiac sign. It's very important for us to understand, a very important day for the sun traveling means. In the chapter 8, text 24, Krishna says that Agni Jyoti Aham Sukra Sanmasam Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidhojana. When the sun began to travel 6 months towards the northern side, and anybody who was leaving their body during that time, and they will be elevated to a position where they be able to enter into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, also higher planets. And again he says that Dumo Ratri Tada Sukla Sanmasam Dakshinayana Tatra Chandramasam Jyoti Yogi Prupya Nivartante. That is in the chapter 8, text 25 of the Gita. And another 6 months the sun traveling towards the southern side, towards the abode of the Himalayas. Anybody leaves their body during that time, and they are returned again to the cycle of repeated birth and death. And he also says that 90 Swasti Path, Jana Palkan, Yogi Muyanti Kashtana, Tatma Sarvesu Kalesu, Yoga Bhavat Krishna said the devotees no need to get bewildered by the true journey of the sun. Whether the sun is moving towards the northern side, whether it is moving towards the southern side, the devotees normally, Krishna says, no need to, they don't get bewildered by this movement of the sun, because they are always engaged. Tasmat Sarvesu Kalesu, always engaged in the Krishna consciousness, the service of the Lord. They are all the time protected. And in the chapter 8 again, text 28, it says, Vedesu Yagesu Tapasataiva Dhanesu Yapunya Param Pradishtam Atisi Tatsarvam Idil Vadididam Vadidva Yogi Paramsana Mupedi Chatyat. That the devotee easily attains all the regard of the difficult path has been taken by the old yogis, through their yoga practices, through their austerities, through giving charity, through reading different kind of the Vedic literature. Whatever the difficult way, others are attaining the regard. The devotees are easily attains all this regard due to their engagement in the devotional service to the Lord. So in this way, it's very important for us to understand the time of Uttarayanam and the time of Dakshinayana. And there are devotees like Bhishmadev, they can choose Bhishmadev waited for 56 days to leave his body because he's waiting for the Uttarayanam when the sun can travel towards the northern side. So in this way, for the devotees, there is no any bewilderment and difficulties to try to understand about this journey, provided they are always engaged in the service of Krishna in all circumstances. Namcha Yogya Pracharya Bhakti Yoga Srimati Savutan Ramati Jainan Brahma Bhujaka Kalpate chapter 14, text 26, there's a lot explained that the devotees who are always engaged in the devotional path never fall down at any second senses. Fall down means you're totally giving up Krishna consciousness and going away. There is accidental fall down, there are planned fall down. So accordingly, Krishna will react with the devotees. Very difficult for us to determine, to say whether it's accidental, whether it's a plan. Or maybe there is the plan of Krishna there to reduce the false ego of the devotees, and you may put them into a position where you come to go back again into a small position, so that you got all the time now to rectify your devotional path, to rectify dealing with the devotees, can rectify your conduct, your etiquette and everything. So today is a very important day that, happening in Malaysia among the Indians, happening in the northern Indians. So in this way we have to understand that only meeting point into this action is that they are offering the pongal to sun god, but they do not understand that sun is moving due to the order of Lord Krishna. Maya Jatsena Prakriti Suyate Taratara Metunana Kaunteya. That Vipari verse in the chapter 9, text 10, Krishna explains everything moves in this world by under the order of Krishna himself. So in this way we have got a great opportunity to participate in the Krishna consciousness. Somewhere or other by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada we have got a great opportunity. And today also we have celebrated the appearance of His Holiness Jananda Goswami Maharaj, who also dedicated his life to propagate the holy name of the Lord all around the world. So it is our great privilege that we can come together, we can see among each other, and we can take the association very nicely. That will uplift our consciousness, that will make our life more happier. Only thing devotees have to understand the only qualification is they can have is a great tolerance in their life. Tipichava, Karnika, Surita, Sarvadehina, Ajita, Sankrava, Sanka. Sadhava, Sadhabhushana. Devotee means the first qualification is that he must have tolerance in his life. Toleration is very, very important. Whether our life or material life, everywhere without toleration, then we are not going to make a kind of progress. And those who are seeking for peace and happiness in their life, that has been mentioned by Lord Krishna in the chapter 2, text 70 of the Bhagavad Gita. Apurimanam achala pratistam samodramapa pravisanti tattva vivakamayam pravisanti sarve satanti mapnoti nakama kami. Krishna says just like a person who can tolerate the flow of the desire into their life, just like the rivers are flowing into the ocean, but the ocean never overflow. A person who can tolerate the flow of the desires in his life, he alone can have peace and happiness in his life. And again he says, Vihaya Kamanya Sarvan Pumam Jalanti Nispraha Nirmamo Nirahankara Sasante Marigachati. The chapter 271 again, Krishna says that a person who becomes free from the desire of sense gratification, a person who can become free from the desire of sense gratification, a person who can become free from the desires, and a person who does not claim proprietorship of anything in this world, a person who is free from false ego, he said this person will become peaceful in their life. We know it, we have so many things in our life to become peaceful and happy. Just we have to understand we should somewhere or other try to become free from all kinds of flows of desires are coming into us, and try to be free from all these desires. And number 3 is that don't claim proprietorship of anything in this world. And this ahankara give up the false ego, thinking that everything is happening just because of me, I am the ultimate doer. So when we give up this, kind of material desires and, giving up the false identification and the false proprietorship, Krishna says you will attain peace and happiness very nicely. He said, Brahmeti tapana nainam prapti vimuyati vibhasam antakareti nirbhutan adhikati. And again Krishna finishes the second chapter, 272, he says that it is the way of the spiritual life. Spiritual life. Krishna finishes the second chapter, in verse 72, he said, this is the way of spiritual life. Ante kalapi, up to the end of your life, if you can follow this principle. What is the principle? The three things you must remember. That the flows of desires are coming into you, just like the rivers are flowing into the ocean, but the ocean never overflows. And anybody can tolerate the desires, can tolerate the flow of the desires. It's not very, very easy. It's not that, you can stop the flow of the desire. It's going to come in. But only thing is that, try to tolerate the difficulties, the pushes coming into our life. And the second thing Krishna says that if you can become free from the sense gratification, free from the desire of this world, and you become free from false ego and free from false proprietorship, he says you become peaceful. Antakalepi, up to the end, if you can have this principle in your life, then the flows of desire is going to come, but I must learn to tolerate, and I also must understand, not to entertain these desires coming in, and also I can understand I should not falsely take ownership of anything in the world, and also to understand I cannot live with the false identification, I and mine. And Krishna says that up to the end of your Krishna consciousness, you can follow this principle. He says that, you will go back and take karma. Then you will go back to body. Is it difficult or easy or... What do you think, Karina?
You take three ways that we have to control, but the control just like something like sometimes we use some medication to control some of these things. So do you think is that something the holiday is
okay, now the medication is to be tolerated.
Yeah, the tolerate is very difficult to come. So what is the supportive medication?
But you have to tolerate. Don't get agitated. It is flowing, and it's tolerate. And you have nothing to do with the flow of the desire. And somebody asked Prabhupada if you got lusty desire. Prabhupada said, I've got lusty desire, but I have no time for it. Only engagement of Krishna consciousness. And you are very busy in Krishna consciousness. What is coming, what is doing, you do not know. True or not? I've been in the movement, for 40 years, and I think over the past 40 years in this movement, so much of death and tribulation, so much of allegation, so much of, so many things are there. How fast, I do not know. And you're talking about my birthday, so January started already, 15th, half month finished already. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So all the things are there. So in a way that we are transmitted, the very quality of a devotee is Tikshava, Karunika, Surira, Sarvadeva, that he must learn to be tolerant. Karunika, he must be very merciful. Surira, he must be very friendly to all living beings. Ajata, Santrava, Santa, that he abides his life by the scripture. And he does not try to make any enemies in the world. And he is very peaceful all the time. When Vidura, Yudhishthira Maharaj met Vidura, Yudhishthira Maharaj says that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavati, Tirtha Bhutat Swayam Vibho. Tirtha Bhutat Swayam Vibho. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svantaksena Kadaprita. He says you are a very holy place. Your appearance is very much blessed as our life. And you are a very holy place, and wherever you go, then that place turns to become a pilgrimage. Very beautifully mentioned that it's only our solace is the association of the devotees. And you've been asking how to tolerate. That means everything Krishna says that Purusa Prakriti Sohi Bhokte Prakriti Dhangunan Karanam Guna Samgaksya Sakata Yonitan, chapter 13. Text 22, Krishna says that only Karanam means the reason. Everything happens in your life, good or bad, only through the association. So those devotees who are tolerating the flow of the desire, and they are not agitated by this flow, and you have to associate with the devotees. You know? And we know Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. Sarva Siddhi means all perfection. You will attain in your life by the association of a proper devotee. Just like Prabhupada only met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj first time, that very moment the whole thing changed for himself. So if it was a kind of Vaishnava association, definitely you have to understand that it will be changing point in your life. Naruttamana Tapose Gangara Prasara Oile Pasite Pavan Darshanam Pavitra Kore Tumaro Khan. Naruttamana Thakur says by going to the Ganga and bathing in the Ganga, long time bathing in the Ganga, then you will become purified. But being in the sight of a pure devotees of the Lord Vaishnava, he said that very moment he becomes purified. That is the power of the Vaishnava. Purna Sandalito Dhatra Dustaran Nititir Satam Karim Satum Arapum Sam Karnadara Yugarnavam. Sutta Goswami, after listening the Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami in Sutrakar, and then he came to Naimasaranya forest, and there are 88,000 sages are sitting in Naimasaranya forest, and aided by Saunaka Rishi. And when Sutta Goswami arrived, and they Saunaka recited these slokas, Somna Sanda Sito Jatra Dustaran Vinsitir Satam Karim Satum Arampum Santarnada Ragi Varnanon, that by the arrangement of the providence, that we are blessed to have you coming into our place. By your presence with us, the stage will be easily overcome the influence of the Kali Yuga. So in this way then our life is very much blessed because the opportunity to participate in the Krishna conscious movement. And personally, Prabhupada says, I am present in the movement for the next 10,000 years. So we should not think that my Guru has come, Prabhupada is gone. Always keep Prabhupada in the center. He is the current Guru. He is living 10,000 years through his books, through his instructions, through his disciples. So if we can understand that the sadhus are living all the time with us, and surely your life will be blessed. You are able to come out from the false ego platform. The whole problem in our life is that we are sitting in the false identification, I and mine. And we are making use of the organization, we are making use of our position, we are making use of our followers, we are making use of our name and fame and everything. Every situation when you are in the bodily concept of life, I and mine, and even God cannot help you in your life. So only way you can understand that, I am a part and parcel of Krishna. I am a great servant of the devotees who serve Lord Krishna very nicely. So in this way we also understand the story of the Narada Muni met Mrgali, and Mrgali was a hunter. He hunting means, he never killed the animals totally, he killed halfway and then he enjoys, see them suffering. There are people, they cut the throat of the chicken and the chicken is jumping. And those days when we look, it's like a movie, jumping and jumping there, So like that, Mulgari was half killing all these animals, and Narada Muni came and advised him, what you're doing is not very nice. You want to totally kill them, what you are doing, half killing and enjoying and seeing them. Then he says he doesn't know any other occupation. Then Narada Muni advised him to go back to your house, whatever is in the house, give it away. And you go to the side of the Ganga river, you make a small hut, and you and your wife, put a tulsi plant there, and then circumambulate and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the Mulgari says, if I'm going to do that, who's going to give us food? And Narada Muni says, come by itself, why worry? Even the animals not chanting Krishna, sending them the food, why he cannot send me the food? And with the association of Narada Muni, he took Narada Muni seriously in his life, and then he gave away everything, and then he came and sat in front of the Tulsi Maharani, both husband and wife, they start chanting, and slowly so many food are coming, so many things are coming, and they got so much more than what they require. And they've been trying to try to give away so much of food are coming towards them. And Narada Muni came back again. He came back with the Parvata Muni. He came back with the Parvata Muni to see what Mulgari is doing. And when they were coming, then Parvata Muni and the Guru, Narada Muni is coming. Narada Muni told Parvata Muni that this guy, is not a normal, ordinary hunter. He is hunting, often killing. And he enjoys, seeing the suffering of the animal. This is the man now sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. Let us go and see. So Parvata Muni came with the Narada Muni. And the moment he saw sadhus are coming, and then, he wanted to pay obeisance, he sees the ants are running everywhere. So he said, if I pay obeisance, then, so many ants may get killed. And then coming closer to them, he's jumping, looking at the ants running, trying to avoid the ants jumping this side, this side. And Parvata Muni was very surprised. This is the man who was killing animals, killing the animals, seeing the suffering and enjoying. Looking at the small ants, he's trying to avoid. He was very amazed. And Narada Muni came and asked, are you okay, Mulgari? Mulgari says, by the Sadhu Sangha, by your association, things are coming, unlimitedly, and we are giving away. So much is coming. And Narada Muni said, there is the power of Krishna consciousness. So always you keep yourself Krishna conscious, always you take a good association. Even you become a president, it's only a post, but it's not about Bhakti. Don't think that I'm not the president yet, and then my ticket to go back to God is gold, but I'm not given. It's not like that. Whatever happens in the temple, 1/6 of your karma will come to you. And if you're a good leader, all the punya also will go to you, and you enjoy. They chanting, the merit will come to you. But if you're not chanting, it will come to you. So that is the position we take for the pleasure of Prabhupada, for pleasure of Krishna, trying to help the living being to progress in their Krishna consciousness. So in this way we have got a very good opportunity today to understand. We are trying to celebrate the Pongal festival because we understand this must be offered to Sun God. And when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we understand anything happens in our life, there are certain reasons that are involved. In the chapter 18, text that in Krishna says that Panchetani Mahabhavo Karanani Vibhutami Sankhya Kartani Toktani Suddhaye Sarva Karmanam. Whatever happens in human life, there are 5 reasons are there. Adhistanam Tada Karta Karnam Ta Pradabrata Vividacha Prataksheta Daiva Chavatva Panchamam. And Krishna says the 5 reasons is that your body is 1 reason, your soul is 2nd reason, your senses are 3rd reason, your action are 4th reason, and I am the 5th reason. And because Krishna is the 5th reason, He is part of what is happening in your life. So whatever desire comes, you have to offer to Krishna. You have to, like if you are paying the government tax, and certain amount you are paying because you are enjoying everything in the government by the good government, and you are able to earn a lot of money, the party of giving away to the government. Similarly, here Krishna says, whatever happens in human life, there are 5 reasons are there. Try to understand these things, don't put the blame in other people, don't argue and fight with anybody. Krishna is putting into the situation. Why? Because he wants you to learn to become a tolerant. When you become tolerant, then you know that anything comes, no problem for you. And sometimes Krishna puts you in a bigger problem because he wanted to learn to become more tolerant. What can be the biggest problem than Yamaraj? The biggest problem is going to be this superintendent of death coming. And if you have learned to tolerate everything, when you see the Yamaraj, you can tolerate him also, not a problem. But you have never learned anything here. The moment you see Yamaraj, superintendent of death coming, and then you panic. You do not know what to do. So Krishna is slowly preparing the devotees. That is why the devotees are going through different kinds of tests and tribulation and challenges. But the bigger danger, the bigger problem, the bigger pain of life is going to come through Yamaraj, the superintendent of death. So now we have learned to, mingle with all the small problems. So be able to mingle with Yamaraj when he comes, happy comes. I already know how to handle him. Like somebody has gone through a cancer, and what else will be for him, next time he's not worrying about headache, he is not worrying about any of this, you're going to need pain, this and that. He already seen the death in front of his eyes. So in a way that we have to understand, this is why Krishna puts through the devotee into different circumstances. So now devotees are not agitated by anything because they see that Krishna also part of what is happening in your life. And if a Krishna is part of what is happening, then you're very happy, just like, whatever you're going through in your life, if your father and mother also inside that problem, and they're able to understand, they're able to see they're with you, then you become more, protected. You're not so much bewildered because you know that father and mother decided to help you in all circumstances. So Krishna says, Sariraman Manovirya Nyayam va Viparatim va Sariraman Manovirya Karma Prarabhate Naranyayam Nyayam Viparatim va Panchekvatasya Ekava. Whatever happens through your body, whatever happens through your whatever happens through your mind, it says, whether it's good or bad, justice or injustice, Krishna says, all are happening because of these 5 reasons. When good, you should not say because of me, and bad, you should not point finger at others. You have to understand, Nyayamba, Viparatimba, good or bad, justice or injustice, all are happening, and your body, your soul, your senses, your action in Krishna, this 5 is the reason for good and bad, everything happening in life. Tatraivam api kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyat pasyati akirta buddhitvan ata pasyati gurumati. He said only gurumati, those who are foolish, they do not see the 5 things. They only always see their own thing. That's it. For them there is no understanding. There are 5 reasons are there. Whatever happens in my life. So in this way, devotees are able to go through and overcome all kinds of tests and tribulation of their life because they are able to see Krishna in everything. And Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, you see me in everything and see everything in me. And he says, you are always living with me. So that is where the devotees are not bewildered by anything. So we have to take advantage of this situation. Because it's a material world, and the nature of the material world is always flickering, is always, so much of trouble and difficulties, and it's temporary. It comes, good time comes, and then, it goes away, then bad time comes. And Swami is very happy. Today is 15th. On the 17th, my son is living. Sunny people think it's a very bad fellow. He's a god of justice, and he tries to teach you something in your life. So I've been going through, 7.5 years of, year not and I did not realize, I did not really affected the both through. Because I was too busy chanting and going, traveling and preaching. And maybe because I don't have a wife, I don't have the children, I don't have a father, I don't have a mother, no family, I got myself. I was thinking, is it true that it affected me? But somewhere it is affected, but I did not, it really doesn't affect me so much. But on the 17th, another 2 days time, and it's going to come back after 30 years. And my lifespan, I'll be dying at the age of 82 years old. So 21 years I'll back and go already. It's going to come back 30 years only. I won't be here. So my good time is coming. So like that, if you understand that, Krishna is with you and the devotees are with you, always keep chanting, always keep practicing the Krishna consciousness. Only thing is that try to understand that you are not the body, you are not the ultimate doer here. Krishna has put you in a different situation so that you can help yourself, you can help others. And in a way, by the great tolerance in your life, surely you will be able to overcome a lot of other difficulties in your life. So take advantage, there was this wonderful movement, Prabhupada movement, and there are a lot of nice devotees around. I go everywhere in Malaysia, I see only the leaders are little bit, the Taraganan. What do you say in English? Taraganan. Right? Sorry, nobody is recording here. My understanding in Malaysia, most of our leaders are very arrogant. But the devotees are very nice. Why they are arrogant? Maybe they have been trained up to become arrogant. I don't know. No, because the time has changed, the country has changed, the leadership, the way the leaders think today is different. Today the Indian community interact in a different way. So I've been, repeatedly telling that, we have to understand the situation either philosophically, economically, educationally, many different ways, what the changes we should bring into the movement, what the moderation we should do, so that it will become more easy for our children to pick up and follow their Krishna consciousness. And unless you become a dynamic, and you will be left behind too far. And our people, our children, somewhere or other they may be abused by others, in this country. So very important that our leaders should sit and see that where things are going wrong, why the community people are now not very much attracted to organization. We are doing the Radiyatra festival. Just recently I was in a Radiyatra festival in KL. And practically all our Radiyatra festival, maximum are the devotees are there. I could say about 95% the devotees will be there. A similar thing was there in Kuala Lumpur Radiyatra festival also. So almost all our devotees are only there in the stage, and after the chariot has come, and they've been making so much of noise, talking and laughing and lining up for the prasadam this and that, and then Narasimha Maharaj got on the stage, he's giving speech, but nobody is really listening, they're talking their own katha. And then later when Bhanu Maharaj, got up into the stage to talk, and then, Prabhupada Prabhupada was very upset. The way the devotees are behaving, then he practically, he he took the mic and then he says, you're a devotee, you cannot be like that. Respect, learn to respect the sannyasi. No, we have to speak this thing in the public. So somewhere or other we have to understand whether the Radha festival really benefits the organization. The same thing, how we can do it in a different way that people can understand who's in the chariot. Till today I can tell you that 99% of the Indian community in Malaysia, they don't even know the Hare Krishna, what they are doing in Malaysia. I tell you, they will not know what is Orthodox talking, they will not know who is Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, even after spending thousands of dollars into Radha Yatra, Palestine festival, and many ways. So we have to see how to do it in a different way, that they can be educated. And they only will respect the organization, they understand actually they got a wonderful philosophy. Today I've been telling, this thing that I did not go with details information about how the Vedas are divided. And now these 6 schools of thoughts are there: Advaita, Vishishadvaita, Dvaita Advaita, Dvaita, Suddhadvaita, Achintya Veda Tattva, and now the 6 philosophies are there. Nyaya is there, Vaisheshika is there, Sankhya is there, Yoga is there, and then Mimamsa are there, Vedantas are there, and now it is propagated. If we can understand and then we can simplify, we can give a message to the people. We do not understand much of, one day I hope I can come and do a class, very important class, means versus end. The end result. The means is a way to attain your end result. So at the present moment, even the devotee is talking about the end result. And anything they say, I'm a devotee. They say whether they get divorced, whether they will fight in the house, whether, behaving, anything. But I'm a devotee, I can talk like that. That is not important. In Krishna consciousness, achieving Krishna is not important. Achieving the love of Krishna is more important. Like, Ravana, like, Kamsa. Kamsa is also devotee of Krishna. Because devotee means always thinking of Krishna. So Kamsa is always thinking of Krishna, but Krishna killed him. Why? Because he's not thinking favorably. He's thinking Krishna unfavorably. So becoming devotee, you are trying to become a devotee is more important than a devotee itself. To become, to attain the end result is very important. More important than how you are doing, what you are doing to attain. Whether you are doing in the right way or wrong way is very important. You want to make sure that you want to become a millionaire. 1 million I want to make. And then you are telling, I make my 1 million. And another intelligent person comes and asks you, have you made it 1 million in the right way or wrong way? In the wrong way means that million has become useless to you. When the right way is appreciable. So we have to understand end result is that. The way to achieve the end result is that. So generally people give importance to the end result. By hook or crook you must do it. Then they say. That means what? By any means. You make it. But Krishna is not giving importance to the end result. By hook or crook, Krishna never says that. What Krishna tells Arjuna, Karmani evadikaraste ma palesu kadachana ma karma palayetu Tosangastu karmani. You have right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled for the fruits of your duty. Never saying that you are the doer of your duty and never be regret because you are not attended to the duty. Don't worry. Krishna wants you to become neutral. Why Krishna tells here, you have to understand why Krishna tells you got the right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled for the result of your duty. Because there are 4 reasons for that. Number 1 is that when you are performing your work, your duty, and then you're thinking to get some result. This is the beginning. When you're not thinking about, your result, nothing, you just work and go away. When you're thinking, then you think that I'm going to get the result. This is the beginning. How it changes, you will see. And then second thing is that now you do your work, you think, I'm going to do my work and I must get the result. Now the second, it changes little bit more. And the third thing is that, then you do. Say, now I'm going to do the duty. Doesn't matter how I do, but I must get the result. It changes more further. Then the fourth thing is that no, whether I'm doing or not doing, I must get the result. So from the thing, it changes to the, that means you will do anything, make sure that you get the result. So your karma will change, your action changes. From the right age it goes to the wrong. So that is why Krishna is telling that not to become attached to the result. You have no right to enjoy the result. So we have understood Krishna beautifully bringing this information. But we are so much concerned about the end result. But Krishna is not giving importance to the end result. Krishna is giving importance to the means. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the means how to attain the end result. How you do it properly in the path of Dharma. Then I'm a devotee. The second is subject matter. What kind of devotee? The primary subject matter. So in this way that we take advantage of the association, we participate in Krishna consciousness. An important message you take away from here today. What is the message? That one message. What will you take from here? Okay, association. Okay, take that is secondary. Tolerance. Krishna says if you tolerate, your problem is over. Because we are agitated and we are reacting, the problem becomes more bigger. Somebody, somebody disrespected you by name calling anything, and you get affected, and then you shout that why you. But you leave it for a little while, you come and participate, and then forget about those things. After some time, I was going to talk to them and then go back to my house. So when you are not immediately reacting, actually the problem is not. But when you are immediately reacting, the problem becomes more bigger. In a way that an important message is that tolerance. Krishna says if we tolerate, like a river entering into the, flowing into the ocean, never overflow. If we tolerate, he says that, you attain peace. And the next verse he says that, you don't try to, enjoy sense gratification. Try to be free from the desire. Don't claim proprietorship of anything in the world, and free from false ego, false identification. He says attain peace. And he says antakale. After the end of your life, if you can do these things, he says go back to Swami. You read the Bhagavad, you read 270, 271 and 272. Translation you read. Just read the translation, you will finish here. 270, 71 and 72. Very important information Krishna is giving.
Apuryamanam achara pratitam samudramapah pravishyanti yadvat kamayam pravishyanti sarve sa shantim apnoti na kamakami. Translation. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desire that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not a man who strives to satisfy such a desire.
Okay, second, okay. Next one. And that's what we can do now. Just translation.
A person who has given up all the desires for self-gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace.
Okay, the last one.
There is a way of the spiritual and the godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered, is thus situated even at the hour of death, and can enter into the kingdom of God.
So very beautiful. Krishna says this is the way of spiritual life and divine life. being tolerant. If he's situated up to the end of his life, he will go back to God. There's only one message, how to be tolerant. If you have learned that, you will go back to God. Very easy, isn't it? Easy and difficult. McDonald's, that's it, finished. We have like a fool, like, Jadavaran realized, by talking I cannot go back to God. Just, be like a fool, yes. Okay. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaura Pramanande.
Very good question. Today, what is the diet? Yeah. Too many things happening.